In this video, we're going to show you how to install the new fuel line pickup tubes from Discover Powered Paragliding FLYPPG. To start with, you want to remove your fuel cap, fuel line, and plastic fuel tube out of your fuel tank. Once you have removed those, secure your fuel line with the fuel line holder at the top of your frame. Next, we'll remove the fuel tank from the paramotor. If you have not yet, at this point you want to remove all the fuel out of the fuel tank for the next step. For the next step, you'll need a tape measure and a Sharpie marker. You want to measure over exactly 2 inches from each side on the indentation on the fuel tank where the fuel tank slides into the frame of the Adventure. Next step, you want to draw a crosshatch mark on the seam of the fuel tank for your drill locations. You'll need a 12mm drill bit and a drill for the next process. When drilling the holes in the tank, we recommend that you drill slow. That helps pull majority of the plastic shavings up out of the tank as you drill it instead of letting them fall down into the tank. Once you're done drilling both of your holes, the next step we recommend deburring the holes that you just drilled. Make sure there's no sharp burrs anywhere. Make sure that both the holes are nice and clean. After that process, we recommend putting a little bit of fuel in the bottom of the tank, sloshing it around and dumping it out to make sure that your fuel tank is nice and clean. Next step, you want to remove your fuel line from the fuel line holder on your Adventure paramotor. With a pair of side cutters, you want to cut the copper bung off the fuel line. After you have cut the copper bung off the fuel line, go ahead and use a tilling knife or a pocket knife at this time to cut any last remaining fuel line that is still on the bung. Next, you will want to remove the contents of the fuel tank upgrade kit. Once you remove the contents, you will see that you have a longer line and a shorter line. The shorter line with the fuel clunk already on is your vent line. The longer line with nothing on the end of it is your new fuel pickup line. And this line is the one that you will install your old fuel clunk onto. A trick that we do, we slide needle nose pliers into the end of the fuel line and spread it open. This makes it easier to slide the fuel clunk inside. We do not recommend heating the fuel line to soften it to be able to slide the fuel clunk inside. We recommend stretching it out and then using force to slide the fuel clunk inside. You will slide the fuel clunk in approximately 3/8 of an inch. There's an indentation on the fuel clunk itself that you want to slide the line to. You also want to ensure that the fuel check ball is on the opposite side of the line and that you did not install it backwards. Next step will be installing your fuel pickup line onto your fill side of your fuel tank. You want to ensure that the fuel pickup line curves to the opposite side of your fill hole on your fuel tank and is laying down at the very bottom of the tank. This ensures that when you're flying and the torque your motor is turned to the right a little bit, that your fuel pickup tube will pick up every last drop of fuel in the tank. Next step, you want to install the vent line on the opposite side of your fuel tank. Ensure that you get it pushed all the way in and seated into the tank. The next step, you'll reinstall your fuel tank back into your frame. Ensure you get your strap located at the indentation of the fuel tank. Once you have your strap in the proper location, snap your fuel tank in and tighten up the Velcro strap. Velcro strap should not be pulled tight, it should just be very tensioned Next step, you want to remove your old fuel cap from your fuel line that runs to the carburetor of your paramotor. Curve the fuel line down to your new pickup tube. Ensure you have a nice gradual bend in it, but make sure that the fuel line is short enough that it cannot flex around and reach the exhaust system. Generally, the curvature of the fuel line is about ½ inch away from the fuel cap itself. Mark the location on the fuel line and cut it with a pair of side cutters. Next, we recommend sliding a pair of needle-nose pliers in, stretching the fuel line out so it makes it easier to slide onto the new plastic pickup bung. Ensure that the fuel line is slid all the way on to the blue plastic elbow. Once it's slid all the way on, secure the fuel line with a zip tie. We recommend wrapping the zip tie 2 times around the fuel line. That way it ensures that it is equal tension all the way around and there's no loose spots right underneath the zip tie head itself. This ensures that no bubbles, no air will be drawn from that area. Take a pair of side cutters and cut off the end of the zip tie. The final step will be securing the top of your vent line with the fuel check ball. The end of it has a check ball on the end of it. That way when you stand up or bend over, it does not allow the fuel to come out, but the check ball allows air to come into the tank for proper ventilation. Take a zip tie, secure the vent any location that works best for your paramotor. Once you have secured your vent line, take a pair of side cutters and cut off the end of the zip tie. At this point, your new fuel tank upgrade is ready for flight. If you have any questions, feel free to email or call us. info@flyppg.com or 217-779-6647. We wish you all many happy flights from everyone at FLYPPG, Discover Powered Paragliding.